What is going on, guys? We are back playing some more Surviving with RotaryCraft. Now today, guys, we're going to be messing around with setting up a mob spawner and using all the different things that RotaryCraft has to offer when it comes to accessories for actually setting up the mob spawner and making it function better. So there are a couple different things that the mod offers, but unfortunately, unlike a lot of other mods, RotaryCraft does not offer a powered spawner or anything like that. You do have to get an actual mob spawner, and luckily for us, RotaryCraft does offer a super easy way to actually obtain that spawner, and you're able to place it down anywhere, but you can't actually make one, so you do need to have one already found. I'm going to be setting up a blaze spawner, so it's really no issue. It's pretty easy to go into the Nether and find a fortress to get one. So we're going to cover all that stuff, and then today we're going to be setting up a way to kill it using RotaryCraft stuff, but there also are a couple other accessories that you can use for it. I believe it's under farming. It's the spawn controller, which pretty much allows you to make a spawner function even faster than normal, assuming you give it power. You also have the ability to turn off the spawner with one of the settings, so that's pretty awesome. We're not going to be setting that up today, but we are going to be using the mob harvester today, which pretty much makes it so that any mob that lands on top of it, assuming this has power, it's going to kill it. And it's going to act as if the player killed it, so we'll get blaze rods. It specifies right here, like blaze rods, which are player only kill drops. So that's really important because that's what we're going for. We want the blaze rods, just pretty much because I use performance engines all the time, and blaze rods are the best way to get additives for the performance engine. Along with that, I really do want experience because I want to get a couple different enchants to put on the boring machine, and getting enough experience for that has been a little bit rough. Not actually going to need that much for today. We are going to have to do a little bit of gathering, but all this stuff up here is stuff that I've already had crafted. The item vacuum is what we're going to use to get the experience and to get the blaze rods. I could just use a hopper, but I want to get the experience, and the item vacuum does a phenomenal job of gathering that and storing it, and you can easily get it from that. And we're just going to be using the typical steam engine, pump, all that for everything today. We're going to use it for the item vacuum, and you're able to power the mob harvester using just a single steam engine. So that's what all this is for, and the stuff down here is what we're going to be using to actually craft the mob harvester. It's extremely cheap. Pretty much just going to be taking, we do have to craft an ignition unit, so over here, craft the ignition unit, and then pretty much just set it up over here. It was a little bit annoying to get an ender pearl, but that's just because I don't like having to go out and kill stuff. Because I don't have any gear set up right now. We're a naked Pikachu. By the way, before we actually jump into today's episode too far, a lot of you guys commented on the last episode and said it was really short, and I expected that. I realized it was really short after I recorded it, and a lot of my episodes have been recently. So what we're going to be doing today is something a little bit different. So I'm going to try my best to tell a story. I know a lot of you guys have suggested I tell stories, have longer episodes. So if some of you guys want to keep the short, informative episodes, those will always be around. I will, try and mix those in, but I'm also going to try and mix some stories in. I don't have the most exciting life, but I do have a couple stories that I think are pretty funny. So I'm going to try and tell a story as we do a lot of the stuff today, have a longer episode, mix it up a little bit, I guess. But yeah, so what we need to do first is go downstairs and get the boring machine. And I almost walked over here to go downstairs, but you might be able to tell I redid the base a little bit. I redid the flooring so that it doesn't catch on fire on this side. Expanded the basement because we're going to be putting in the blaze farm over here. Mix some things up, put the pulse jet furnace over here, and here's where we're going to go downstairs. So got to go down here and get the boring machine. Every time I take that fall, it gives me just butterflies in my stomach, even though it's in a video game. I don't know why. But, this thing's been running pretty good. The gasoline engine is completely out, so we're just going to break all of this, and we're going to be taking this into the Nether. So I mentioned that, you know what, I feel like we should take this, but no, I'm going to make a chest specifically for the Nether. But I don't even actually know if we need one. It might just pop it out if we break it. But I mentioned that you are actually able to harvest spawners without silk touch, and that is using the boring machine, which is amazing. I don't know if it's supposed to be like that, so you can actually get spawners because there's no way to get them really or there's no way to really move them in this pack, or not pack, but with this mod alone, there's no way to move them. And you actually do need them. You can't make your own, so maybe that's intended, but you can use the boring machine to do this. So we've got all this, and I'm just going to grab stuff to make one more chest, and we're going to head into the Nether where I've tracked down a blaze spawner. I say track down because it was a little bit rough. You know what, we can sleep first. And just because it's nighttime out, it's not really a long trip to get over to where the Nether portal is, but okay, so time to jump into story mode. So Like I said, I do apologize if you guys don't want to hear a story, but yeah, we're going to be telling a story today. So this is going to be the story of what a couple of my friends and I did during graduation night. So let me just, start off by saying, like I said before, my life really isn't super exciting. It's not super crazy, so it wasn't anything absurd. But on graduation night, we were at one of it's kind of like a lot of schools do this where they'll have a party, and I say that in air quotes. It's essentially just somewhere they want you to go so that you don't get into trouble that night, you don't go drinking, you don't get killed doing something stupid. So you go there, and like it's pretty much an all night thing. And I did lay out some markers here so I can keep track of this, but yeah, so we went there. My friends were there, or most of my friends were there at least, and we were having an okay time, but it was kind of boring. And one of my friends suggested that we go and sneak onto a golf course. He's like, oh, we should go night golfing. And so I was like, for some ungodly reason, I was like, yeah, let's go night golfing. Which, I mean, the whole idea of it really doesn't work unless you have the setup for it. Oh gosh, that sounds like a ghast. I just realized I don't have the stuff for like attacking a spawner, so we're gonna have to be very, very careful when it comes to this. This is where I was pillaring up over here though. But the whole idea of night golf really doesn't work unless you have the stuff for it, like glow-in-the-dark golf balls or glow sticks that can be inserted into golf balls, which, there are golf balls made for that, but, we were going out there with regular golfing equipment, so that didn't really work. We just chilled on the golf course after sneaking on there, and, okay, so we were over here, we gotta get over there. But after that, we were saying something like, man, we're really, really hungry right now. And so we decided to go to a McDonald's, which was supposed to be 24 hours, and it turned out it wasn't open because I don't really know why. Maybe it was because the people that typically work there were just graduating, so they were busy. Gosh, navigating this Nether fortress is going to be rough. But so we were looking around trying to find some place that was 24 hours in our town that we could go to, and we kept driving to places and didn't find any. And so eventually we ended up driving into one of the sketchier parts of our town. It's not really even a part of our town. Ooh, I gotta eat. I'm running out of food too. But it isn't really a part of our town. It was probably like 20-30 minutes away. And we decided to drive there. And eventually, we were not lost, but we were a little confused as to what we were doing. And we were just looking for this subway that was supposed to be 24 hours. And I was getting a little bit low on gas for my car. And so we pull into this gas station. Okay, the blaze spawner's over here. But we pull into this gas station, and this lady was walking on the street, and I could not figure out for the life of me, let me just start out by saying this, I couldn't figure out for the life of me how to get this gas pump to work. I had never used one like it, and it was a little bit different than the ones that I normally use. And so my friend got out of the car because he was like, oh, I know how to use these, you're just being stupid. Okay, so that guy's spawned right there. We gotta be careful about this. This is rough. I'll finish the story once we... Oh, no. Nope, we're not. Okay, so we're going to be very careful about this. Just put the story on the back burner for now. Put it on the back burner. Let's get in here. We can set up the thing and start... We can get rid of the spawner super easily once we get adjacent to it. Okay. There he is. There's our friend. Okay. Just don't mind me. I'm gonna get a block down up here that's actually a block. Okay dokie. So is that... Nope, it's one further. So it's right over here. Okay, so we're gonna set up the thing, and it's gonna go this way, and it's gonna mine that out, and we're gonna be good. And that ghast is very loud. Okay, so while I'm setting this up, I'll continue with the story. No. Okay. Nice try, game. Nice try. Okay, so back to the story. So, I couldn't figure out how to get this to work. One of my friends got out of the car, and keep in mind, I drive a really small Jeep. It's a 2-door Jeep Wrangler, and, oh my gosh, I forgot ethanol. Oh my gosh, we have no power for this. Okay, don't mind me. I'm gonna run back to the base. I'm actually gonna get stuff to fight this, and then we're gonna jump back here, and it'll be like nothing ever happened. Okay guys, so I made it back here. I did get a little bit of armor. It's not much. I really didn't have much iron to work with, considering I used most of it, I made it into steel. But we now have some ethanol. We've got the gasoline engine ready to go. We've got the gearbox, and the boring machine is set up. It needs to mine past this cobblestone block. And I gotta be very careful with how I set this up, because once it mines through this, it's, well, I guess it won't make an opening necessarily. But, okay, so throw down the gasoline engine, rotate it. Does this have to be on speed? I can't remember. Whatever. We'll throw this in there and then we'll find out. Okay. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, mine that block there. Let's hope it gets started. Okay, so it is starting. Okay. Okay, I think it should be okay, but it started with 1. This thing gets a little bit glitchy. I'm not sure all the time how it's going to work. I might need to reset it, but, oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, it's going. It's going. Hopefully they can't target me through there, but time to continue with the story while we wait for this. So, we're at this gas station, and it's like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. It's pitch black out. There's no one on the road. My friend's trying to help me get some gas in my car, and this lady's walking down the street, and she looks over at us, and she randomly, and believe me when I say this is how she sounds, she was like, "Do you boys have a cigarette?" And my friend and I just look at each other, and we're like, what do we say? What, like, no, of course, like, I don't have a cigarette. And then she starts, like, walking towards us, and it's a little, and then this car, all of a sudden, like, she stops walking towards us, and then all of a sudden, this huge SUV with just these really dark tinted windows, just blasting music, guns it in here. And my other friend was so freaked out at this point, because it was just, like, I don't even know, he was just freaked out, so he was, like, banging on the window of my car. He's like, "Get back in the car, get back in the car right now." So we scramble back into the car, and looks like this thing's going nice and slow. It's taking its sweet time. But so we get back in the car, and then my friend was like, "You know what? Let's just go home. Like, I don't even want food anymore. Let's just go home. Let's be done with it." There we go. Blaze spawner. We are good to go. Let's get rid of this thing here. Get rid of this thing, this thing, this thing. And let's get out of here. Okay, so that ghast is still gonna be on us when we get out here. That's worrisome. Okay, we gotta make a run for it, boys. We gotta make a run for it. Run! 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 Oh gosh, juke! Juke! Juke the blaze, juke the ghast. Let's go. Oh god, okay, thank god it's loading in front of me. I thought we were about to run off a cliff. Okay, okay, we're clean now, we're good. Sort of, maybe. Is this the way we go? I think this is the way we go. Yeah, it is. Okay, so we'll get back to this story once we get our bearings. So this is a very interrupted story. It's you're gonna have to piece it together, little by little. Okay, okay, got our bearings straight. Okay, so now I gotta figure out my way back through here. This was a little confusing to work my way through last time. A little unpleasant. Yeah. See, we gotta go over there then. Okay, so the story. So my friend was like, "You know what, like, I'm not even hungry anymore, let's just go home. Honestly, like, just take me home." And at this point, like, I had enough gas to get back. I had enough gas to even continue driving. It wasn't that my car was that low, but my car burns through gas like no other. It's a Jeep Wrangler. So yeah, so we were okay to keep driving. And eventually, you know, we were debating for a while, and eventually my friend was like, "You know what, like, I'm pretty sure I see the subway right over there." And so, you know, we look over a little bit after driving a very slight amount, and of course, there is the subway, and it's open, there's cars there, and my friend was like, I don't know, it's, you know, it's like 3 in the morning at this point, I don't know if I want to go to Subway anymore, I'm tired, I want to go. And we're like, no, we're out here, we're getting food, we're gonna do this. So, we did a little bit more debating, and he's like, "You know what? There's a cop car over there, okay? Nothing could go wrong. There's a cop car there of all the places that would be safe in this sketchy neighborhood." And really, it's not that sketchy, but it's, you know, it's 3 in the morning, and at that point, we were just, like, tired. We had enough. He's like, "You know what? It's perfectly fine. It'll be safe." So we go over there, and we go in, and there's a cop in there, and he's standing at the front of the line, and there wasn't really a line. We had made a line, but he's standing there, and then all we hear is, "I'll come back for the tapes tomorrow." So when the cop leaves, of course, we have to ask the guy working there. We're like, "Oh, you know, what was that about?" He's like, "Oh, we were just robbed 10 minutes ago." And I was like, "Oh, phenomenal. So the place we choose to come because we think it's safe, because there's a police officer there, the only reason he was there was because it was robbed 10 minutes ago." Now, keep in mind that this really should be like a blessing in disguise because, man, I am low on food. But because what are the chances a place gets robbed twice in less than 30 minutes? I mean, past the 30-minute mark, you know, maybe, but who knows? Do we have any more food in here? Man, I'm gonna have to go get some food. I might have to cut off the episode and go grab some food real quick here. because I don't think we have any. Yeah, we have like no food in here. Okay, you know what? I'm actually gonna have to go get some food first too. So we will be back again. Okay guys, so we are back. I went out and I killed a bunch of pigs, so we should be pretty good for food for the next couple episodes. But now we actually get to go into constructing the mob spawning area. So ever since my immersive engineering series, you guys have been telling me every time I need, you know, a spawner or farm setup that I should go with Mumbo Jumbos. And I gotta say, I really like his blaze spawner setup. So we're gonna be using that one today. I will put a link to it in the description, but it's pretty simple. This is pretty much the main room that you're gonna have. This is just the 9x9x3, which is what you use for most spawners. You throw the spawner down in the center here, of course, which this torch actually might be in the center. Yeah, it is in the center. Okay, so you throw the spawner down right above where this torch is, and then you're going to make the spawner around that, because this is the spawning area for that. And so eventually I do want to put glass in over here, but right now we're just worrying about clearing out the area and getting back to the story. So the main idea is this is the spawning area, and we need to drop this down, I believe, 4 or 5 more blocks. So there's a lot of mining to do, and I'm just going to do that on camera so I can finish this story finally uninterrupted. So one thing I want to keep in mind is just to put a block of cobblestone right here so that I know where the spawning area stops. So now we get to do a bunch of mining and clearing stuff out on camera, and I get back to the story. And I do apologize that the story's been so jumpy lately, but I do want to make sure I let you guys know what's actually going on camera, and actually getting the story down. So just to summarize so far: leave the stupid party, sneak onto golf course, get hungry, try to go get food, get asked for a cigarette by a sketchy lady on the street, have some giant black SUV come barreling into the gas station, get no gas, go to get food because there's a cop there, think it's safe, actually got robbed 10 minutes prior. So now that we're all caught up to speed on that, so we finally leave that place with our subway, and you know, at that point we were so done with it, because I mean, you know, it's at this point it's 3:30. It took forever for the guy to finish his story about getting robbed, and then it took forever for him to make subways for 3 of us, and a couple other people actually did come in at 4 in the morning, or 3:30 in the morning. And so we're on our way home, and me being a total idiot, I suggested, I was driving with one of my friends, and my other friend, we had already dropped him off at his car at the golf course, and we were driving back to his house now to eat our Subway in peace and finally relax on our graduation night. And I, thought it'd be funny. I was like, hey, this is a really straight road. It's pretty much like, it's not a highway, but it's like between a highway and just a regular street. I don't even know if there's a specific name for that, but it's typically where you'd see people driving, between 50 and 60 miles an hour in the middle of the day. And it was, a pretty straight road. And so I thought it'd be funny to just gun it and just like, screw it, no one's gonna be out now, not even police officers. So I gun it down this road, and my friend is right behind me, and my other friend thinks it's funny, and we're laughing and having fun. And keep in mind, I would never do this if there were people on the road. It was a stupid thing to do, but I mean, there was no one else on the road. And then all of a sudden, at the corner of my eye, I just see this light flick on, and my heart just drops, because it's no other than a police officer at almost 4 in the morning on our graduation night, just sitting around a corner. And keep in mind, in my town, police officers are few and far between. They're barely out. I rarely see them in the middle of the day, and yet at almost 4 in the morning, one is about to pull me and my friends over. So, we're going like 90. I keep saying keep in mind. We're going like almost 90 miles an hour down this road that the speed limit's probably like 45 on. And we're just gunning it, and, music's blasting. And luckily, the cop, after giving me a complete heart attack on the road, turns off his lights and doesn't follow us. Now, I don't know if he knew, it was graduation night and we were probably just some idiot seniors that had just graduated or what. He was a total bro, because honestly, that would have been a huge ticket getting pulled over going that far over the speed limit. But that scared me so much. I don't think I've ever been that scared in my life before, honestly, guys. But so we finally make it back to my friend's house. The night is, the sun is at the point where it's about to come up. And this whole time, it had just been just to get food. All we wanted was to sneak onto a golf course and get food. And that was all that we wanted. But it turned into that, which, I mean, it's kind of a good story to tell. It's stupid, and none of it really should have happened. It's just kind of a dumb story that happened because we were hungry and no place is open 24 hours in our town. and you know, we were bored at the party that we went to for the graduation thing. So you know, it was kind of circumstantial, but all in all, not a bad night. And the really funny part was that whole night, you know, my parents were like, do not leave this place. Like, do not leave the school. And, like, don't go anywhere. Don't do anything stupid. All this stuff, the typical parent stuff. And the funny thing is, I use a speed pass when I pay for gas. And so if I had paid for gas, my parents, and if you don't know what a speed pass is, it pretty much is like it's a thing that you would put on your keychain or something, and you just kind of swipe it when you go to pay for gas, and it works as like, it automatically charges it to your parents. And so if I had actually been able to get gas there, my parents would have known that I had left the, you know, party we were supposed to stay at. I had driven 30 minutes into a sketchy neighborhood at 3 or 4 in the morning with my friends for some ungodly reason. And luckily that didn't happen. And along with that, if I had stayed at the school, a lot of cars were vandalized in, you know, numerous ways. Some of them actually had physical damage to them. Some of them just had obscene things drawn on them with, you know, hard to remove, I don't know what you call it, not paint, not markers, but something like that. Some of them had issues with the paint after trying to get that off. So all in all, we actually got kind of lucky with that night. Not a bad night at all. But that's my story, so I hope you guys, you know, didn't mind me trying to tell a story. I know it was pretty rough because it was so choppy, but I think we should be good with clearing this area out for the most part. The idea is the spawning space is where that stone brick is, covers a 9x9x3, and then this area is where the blazes are going to fall. And the whole idea behind the blazes falling down here is when they fall down here, then you don't have to worry about them because they will not be in the spawning space, and that spawner is no longer looking for them, and then it will spawn more. And so you get a huge buildup down here. And now comes the part where we're starting to funnel them in. And so I'm going to do a little bit of this work off camera just because it's a lot more mining. I don't have another story to tell for the time being. I do have other stories, but I'm not going to tell them right now because I don't even know if you guys enjoyed hearing the first story. It was pretty rough and not really that great of a story if you ask me. But yeah, I'm going to clear the rest of this space out. We can do the wiring for it, set the stuff up for the power, and test it out. So I'll be back once clear out the rest of this area. Okay guys, so I've been doing a lot of work on this. It's a little treacherous moving around here just because it's a pretty big drop, and right here I do have a ladder to go down to where we're actually going to kill them, but for the time being we're going to still be working over here. So this is the main idea of it. Pretty much you're going to have the area where they spawn, the area we just cleared out, and then I guess we can just drop down and take damage from this, but then you're going to have a lip here with one, and once the blaze are down here, it's going to be irrelevant how many there are down here. We don't really need to care about them anymore because they're not going to be interfering with how many are spawning, so we can give them time to just wander off here, and then it's the same thing. It's a 2 drop, so they can't get back up here, and then they wander off again. And then finally, they're going to wander off down into this 3x3 right here. And this is where the important stuff starts. So we actually need to push them into this center block right here. Okay, so we do need to take some stone that I have in my inventory, and we need to make a bunch of pressure plates. I actually guess we can just go like this. And we're going to need 3, another 3, and then 1 and 1. So we're going to need 8. For some reason, I was thinking we need 9, but that's because we don't have a center block here. So the pressure plates are going to go just like this. So when they fall off, what's going to be right here, and don't worry, we're going to fill this in, but when they fall off, they're going to trigger the pressure plates. So the idea is going to be then that we're going to take these 8 sticky pistons, and they're going to go right here and here, here and here, there and there, and there. And then we're going to put down some more stone blocks, and that's going to cover it up pretty nicely. But we are going to have to get out of here in a second. I guess we can break this stone block. I guess I shouldn't have placed down this one over here. Then we're going to break this and this, and yeah, we're going to break a lot of this, and we're going to get out of here. And I guess I can try my best and reconstruct this so that it looks correct. Yeah, so we can reconstruct this just so that nothing spawns in here. And wow, it is really dark down here. I wouldn't be surprised if we walked face first into a creeper. I only have 1 torch too. Okay, so we're going to cover most of this up, and we're going to have to break this block right here because the cobblestone is where the redstone is going to be going. And what this is going to do is it's going to transfer the redstone signal from standing on one of these pressure plates to the piston, and it's going to make it push the blaze off into that center block. So we have to get up here to put down the redstone, and we're going to do this all the way around, so that'll transfer it just like we need, and this will do the same thing over here. Oh gosh, it's a little tricky to maneuver your way around. It'd probably be a lot easier if I wasn't building this underground, but then we got to get up here and place the redstone down again. I tried my best to set this up so that it wouldn't be rough on camera to do it. I do have to get a lot of resources that are left down here. Sorry this is a little bit dark, but it's pretty much me just doing the same thing that we were doing before, assuming you can't see. Just trying to finish this real quick. We're never going to have to come in here again, and honestly, I might fill in this room just so nothing spawns in here. But this would be considered probably like the maintenance room if we had to come in here again. It's very close to where we're killing them, so it's going to be slightly cramped on space down there, but I don't think that should be an issue either. Setting up the 2 steam generators should be pretty simple, and that should be good. So now the way I plan on testing it is just to... I'm going to leave that room open for now, and we're going to come up here and see if we walk all the way down, if these will kick us in there. So, I'm just going to assume that if we did one right, they're all correct. Huh. Okay, so it puts us on the edge. So I don't think this one over here is hooked up correctly. There is a block there. Huh. Okay, so it seems this one is the issue right here, the back one. Other than that, though, they seem to be working. So you got to go adjust the back one real quick. We'll test it again, and I don't really know what the issue would be with this one back here. This is the hard one to see, though. So let's get down here and see what's going on. Oh, there's a redstone thing missing right there. Well, that would be an issue. That would cause a slight problem. But that one should fix all the issues we were having. So we'll go back up here. We'll test it out one last time. Assume it works correctly in all scenarios, and then we will go for setting it up. So, okay, it puts you like right on the edge of this, but I assume that'll be good enough. It should in theory work, especially if there's multiple in there. So they're gonna get pushed down here, and this is where they need to die. So they're going to fall down here, they're going to build up, but they're not actually going to build up for us because we have this mob harvester. So, don't want to put down the mob spawner, but we put down the mob harvester. And you can see it's got this, it should be, let me see if we wrench this again, oh gosh. Okay, so we're kind of inside it, but it should be 3 blocks high. Oh, you can't actually, that's interesting. This actually counts as a little bit higher than a block. Weird. But, so pretty much, this is going to go up 3 blocks. All it needs to do is make a slight amount of contact with them, and it will kill them. So we got to get power to this thing first off, and we're not going to have to access any of this power, so I'm planning on just kind of putting it over here and leaving it be. So we're going to make a little room over here that we're never going to touch again, and it's pretty much just going to be for setting up one of these steam generator setups, oh gosh, which I don't have the stuff for because I forgot to get it. Oh gosh, I left it up there. Okay, well, you guys said you wanted longer episodes, so here we go. Let's take a trip upstairs. Yeah, because that's what you guys want to see. Okay, you know what? We got to dump off a lot of this cobble, and this chest is getting so very full. So very full. Okay, so let's get all this. Hopefully we have enough inventory room. We do. Awesome. That's all we're going to need. Having trouble getting down a ladder. Okay. Head down this ladder this time. I don't feel like taking any fall damage and such. Okay, so we get over here and go back to setting this up. So the steam engine should be able to just go straight up against this, and we can start setting it up so we can open it up over here a little bit, close this off, and get ready to set the fire under here. We won't do that though, just because we want to get the water in there first. So we got the pump, the shaft junction. They don't stack because I've used these before, so I guess it's got like a little bit of a setting to it. So we can set that up there. Man, this pick is about to break too. Let's hope we can get this whole project done. I don't think we will, actually. I might have to hop off camera and deal with getting a new pick. Okay, so we gotta rotate this a little bit. You know what? This can work. This can work. Let's get a lever. I usually do it the other way around. Get a lever, flip it, get the DC electric engines out here. Okay, that one's running. That one is running, but it's not facing the right way. So the pump is going now. I'm actually going to rotate that for the time being just because I don't want it to suck up the water before we can refill these buckets. Okay, so there we go. There we go. We can rotate this back. Should start getting that going. We can light this on fire. Fill this whole thing in. and this should eventually be getting the power it needs. I don't think we can access it though, we just have to assume it's getting it. I've tried it out before, the steam engine works for it, but yeah, we should be good on that. So we're gonna call it on that right there, and I believe what we can do now is, okay, that's, yeah, the ceiling's really low right here. I was gonna say this seems a little weird. So what we need to do now is set up the item vacuum, because we want to get the experience, we want to get the items out of this thing, and then once all that is done, we can go and place the spawner down. So I'm gonna break this torch right here, and I think I'm just gonna place the item vacuum right here, because why not? And we're gonna dig out this area and just do another one of those same setups on this side. Now I'm pretty sure I could just use the same water line if I really wanted to, but I'm a little bit, you know, I'm lazy, and if these are constantly running, I want to be sure that they're getting all the water they need. I'm pretty sure the 2 DC electric engines could deal with that, but I'm too lazy to deal with that right now. So we're going to set that one up right there. Same thing, get it ready to light on fire. I'm really just cringing waiting for this pick to break, because I know it's going to happen any minute now. Okay, so the water, get the pump, which is going to, I'll put there, and then, okay, so that one should be running. I think that's what that noise was. I think we need to mine, oh no, it broke. It broke. Okay, I'm gonna hop off camera, finish this, and then we'll be back, just because I don't think we actually have any more diamonds or iron upstairs, so I might need to go get some. Okay guys, so everything should be set up down in the bottom area. I think now all we have left to do is to actually throw down the spawner and let this thing run. So I don't think those torches down there should be much of an issue. I think if we throw this thing down, it should be good to go. So it's going to go down right there. I'm actually going to break this path that I made out there, just so that we can throw this down and be done with it as quickly as possible. Okay, throw that down. Oh gosh, we're about to go down there. Okay, so we don't want that. I'll throw down some glass right here so we can see if it actually works. Cross your fingers that this thing starts spawning, or else I'm going to have to go in there and clear some of those torches out. Okay, so it is spawning. That is what we want. Now we're going to take a trip downstairs, verify that all this is working. It's probably going to take a little bit for them to actually get down here, but that is okay. It seems, if we look on the map, that there are a good amount of them spawning. This is all powered up and ready to go. I really just want to see that they die. That sounds a little weird, but I want to see that they die. They do have to start wandering down here, though, a little bit. So that is a slight wait, but I guess we can go upstairs and look down and verify that they're actually still spawning. That's the main idea, is that we want them to continue spawning and slowly. Oh, it looks like they're slowly wandering down, very slowly. I just want to see another group of them spawn. Come on, I see you spinning there. Spawn another group of them. Do it. I know you want to. Okay, well that's a little that's a little worrisome. Oh, there we go. There's some more of them. And the good thing is they don't always spawn around the edge blocks, so they don't always have to wander down, but you can see him slowly wandering down there. That one's flying because he wants to. But hopefully they make their way down. And then the main idea is just going to be that we come down here, grab some of the blaze rods, and we're good to go. Oh, it works. It works. It works. That's killing him. It works, guys. It works. I'm so happy this works. 3 of them just died. We got 2 blaze rods. We got the XP there. If we wanted to get the XP, we could click get XP. It's a little glitchy, just because with this thing being on, it sucks the XP back up before you can get it. But if we turn it off and then click get XP, we'll be good. But the fact that it works is awesome. So I can come down here, get the blaze rods, process them in a grinder, and I'm good to go on additives for performance engines. So we can now use that pretty much exclusively instead of the gasoline engine. So that's going to be it for today, guys. Longer video. I tried my best to make it a longer video at least. I'm sorry if there was a lot of rambling, boring stuff. Me telling my story was a little, jumbled up, all that. It was a little rough telling it the first time. I'm not the best when it comes to building and working, doing stuff on camera while telling a story. But let me know what you guys think, if you like the short, informative episodes that cover this stuff really fast with me cutting for doing work, or if you like the stuff where, you know, I'm talking and mining and running around and doing all that. I'm fine with either one, just feel free to let me know. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, if you found it informative, entertaining, any of that stuff, feel free to give it a like, as it does help me out a lot. As always, post feedback, especially on this episode, in the comments, because this one is a lot different than the other ones, and I will talk to you guys later.